must know all this anyway. So you pack that with pigment. Yellow, green by itself, you can probably get away with it, but tend to find a bit of yellow ochre improves the consistency. Terra vert is actually a clay, so it's a funny sort of slimy substance, which especially when you come to doing your modelling, it can be a bit tricky. So I find that the yellow ochre mixed in just makes it a bit more manageable, and also lightens it a bit. Obviously our mix needs to be dark enough to stand up to all the membrane glazes you put over. On the other hand, we don't want it to be too dominant, so the yellow ochre helps to, I've got a few lumps there, helps to lighten it a bit. So with all this modelling, as you probably found with your underpainting, it's handy to have two mixes, ones that are medium, one really watered down, and then with this glaze here as well, you've got a third blending substance. While I'm mixing that, one of the tricks with underpainting is to know what to underpaint and what not to. Okay, so with younger faces, even though you've got a few sort of variations here, generally it's, if in doubt, don't underpaint these very secondary shadows here. They can be done at a later stage. If an older face where you've got deeper folds in the face, then you could underpaint those. I'll show you when I give some slides tomorrow probably, or at the end of the day. Where an older face, you do, at this underpainting stage, model in all these. But if you did it now, you'd find that it made Christ's face look like a 50-year-old rather than a 30-year-old. So you've got to, one thing to do is to, if you look for the membrane colour, which is an orangey, so the membrane colour would be probably that sort of yellowy colour there. So anything green or darker than that would be modelled. So this here and that there would be modelled. But this here, I would probably just leave. So that there will be membrane with no highlight. So this here, for example, even though that's distinct from that, you wouldn't actually model that in probably. That's just the membrane left in between the highlighting. So you're not necessarily modelling every form that's there, it's only the dominant forms.
What about the edges? Like,
Yes, obviously all the edges,
But coming into this, is that one?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. That's done.
But not these.
No. And you could do it really quickly washed out, then you hardly anything. Obviously under the eye here, and right through the, you see the eye? Right through the whole of the whites of the eye. I won't be demonstrating, but the whole of the white of the eye will be washed through, obviously around the lips here. And the whole beard, just treat the beard as skin at this point, in the sense that you're not distinguishing in colour yet, just wash over the whole beard. The advantage of doing that is that the beard, because it's got this green underneath, will grow out of the skin. Whereas if you didn't put any green under the beard and just started with another colour on the white, you'd end up with a beard that looked like a false beard.
Aidan, why would we not put all of it and then build a highlight on it?
Well, you can do that. That is the, I'm teaching you here the membrane technique. So the Propolis moss technique, which I'm used to, which I use as well, it's not, one's not better than the other. Yeah, that is one technique. We just cover the whole lot with your darkest and then get lighter. In this case, we're doing the modelling. After the membrane, it's more or less like the Propolis moss. In other words, you're just getting lighter. You do go back and reinforce some of the shadows if necessary. I mean, for the first 20 years, I was just doing the membrane, the Propolis moss technique with the.
And do you find this more effective?
I do, for various reasons. One is at the first stage, you're just doing the form. You're not having to bother about the colour. So you get all these nuances of expression and form with the drape, whatever, with the underpainting, and then you start working on the colour. Another advantage is where in the final work you want lights, you've got the gesso working for you. Whereas with the plasmos technique, you've got this dark, and you're having to sort of pile on the light on top of that, so you're sort of fighting against the darkness. They're the two main advantages I found. But in the same icon, often I combine two. Same with the garments. You know, one garment might be with the membrane, one with the plasmos. It just depends on the effect. So they're not mutually exclusive. Okay. Now, because you're painting on virgin gesso, it's very absorbent. So have a really watered down version, because it will go quite dark because it sucks in water so quickly. It will.
You don't seal the.
You can, but I always found that people tend to put too much egg in the seal and end up having a rather greasy surface. And when you start painting on a greasy surface, it's terrible. It doesn't bite, it actually comes off. So it's better to start with a really dilute green. Okay.
Yeah,
So
because you
can
have very little egg in there now, mostly water. Like
well, always pack your egg
Yeah.
with pigment, and then we don't, it doesn't matter in terms of the stability of the paint
okay.
layer. Because the water goes, and what remains is the original ratio of egg to
Yeah.
pigment, you see. So you can see how important this is. I take off the excess, I test how translucent it is. You've got to have that paper there. When you go brush for this, I'm a left-hander. If I started there, what would happen? I'd be rubbing it all out, you see. So start on the left and work over. So this is where all your nice calligraphic practice of thin, thick, thin come in handy. Want a good brush here with a good point. All the time looking at your original drawing, because the original icon you're working from, is you might find your drawing is incorrect in some way. So you're, even at this stage, you're making adjustments. When you do the outline here, actually follow it through a bit. So this line here, follow through a little bit like that. If you just go around the outline, you lose that angle there. Likewise there, just carry through like that. So you get that accurate outline. All the time, watch out for convexes and concaves. You know, you can always improve your original drawing. This is just to fix it. Whatever you do, don't overdo these. So I mean, I can make it look more watery than that. All you're doing is fixing it. So these lines here, see, that's not really a line, is it? See how soft that is? It's just a shadow. If I do a good hard line there, that's going to ruin the rest of the icon. This side is a bit stronger. So all you want is just to indicate where that shadow is going to stop. So really watery. Okay. So do all that, and then I'll demonstrate the modelling. Another half an hour, something like that. Okay.